Oh, and welcome. Right, now then, this is the very first time I've actually gone outside of the mod. It's strange. Today I got the results back from Giants testing. And I've been doing this, I've been modding now for a year, and I know I've got better, but I'm not really doing this the way that Giants would wish you to do it, which is a very, very difficult way to mod, an unnecessary way to mod. And I don't think you can learn... Is this really the forum? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it isn't. It's true. Let's just get on. It's true. Now, the one thing I have done, or we'll carry on with this one thing, we have got a loan limit increaser. So what I'd like to do is actually, do that. So I think, not sure if we can do this, whether we can borrow more. Okay, let's just take this. We're going to give it away. We ought to really have looked at what we actually did have to begin with, though, a little bit better than we did. Because we need to, because it's the loan. We just need to give the extra money that it says at the bottom. Yeah, I've never done this before. I've got a loan limit now. It's going to take me ages. Can you do it? No, you have to literally click. Right, we can do this with space, though. Yeah, let's do this. So we can go up to 10 million. So with that in mind, I wonder if you can actually do this through the XML. No, you can't. No, this is the weird thing about the game. That this is controlled by the mod itself. Is there an easy way to... I think there is. I think there's an easy way. Is there a loan limit thing, though? I don't think there is. What this is doing is actually extending the credit system, which there's only really one way to do this, and that is literally to clickety-click. So it's going to take a while. Oh, it is if we keep doing that. It definitely is. Now, we're going to give the money away. I want to take this so that we're at the max. So this is an absolutely murderous challenge, because that's going to be 30 grand every single month that we are down. 33, I think. I think that's right. We've got to do this. So we go to 5 million and we'll do it, rather than do it all in one hit. And next time, now that I've got this mod in place... Now, this mod actually did exist in FS25, which I sort of thought at the back of my mind. I was asking the AI to search the forums and say, is there a loan limit? Now, there is something similar in FS, but it's based upon, I think it's Chisel that does it. It's based upon you're allowed to loan as like in real life and put your farm as collateral. That'll never work for us because we haven't got anything. I've got 100 grand to my name. They've got no collateral, no equipment. So I'm a bad loan. I am. So this is depicting that we're in heavy debt. I mean, really, our big farm has just gone bust. And all I managed to do away was 100 grand. So we'll take this right up to 5 million. And then next session, I'll do this before I start the cameras. But I wanted to include you in this, so it will go up next session. It will be up to 10 million. I want this to be the ultimate challenge. The toughest challenge I've ever faced in Farming Simulator. Which, no, it is true. I have sort of faced these. We've got the rules that we sort of looked at right at the beginning. Let's do this by the key. I think I can do it quicker. Yeah. So we did literally sort of showed the rules, and they are tough, but obviously we've done all right. We've got up to 500 grand, but we have now got to make a start. And I've got to juggle a little bit because I've got to really be careful. So again, I'm not... Can we afford to start? We can put a generator down. That's not going to make a difference. I did this with 1 million debt a couple of sessions back, and it's like 3,333. Well... Most months, the generator that I use can cover that, but there's no way it'll ever cover 33,000. Nowhere near. So what I mean is that really does mean it is going to hurt. It is. I mean, so no matter there's no hiding from this fact. So let's let's take this right up to 5 mil, and then I'll do the same. Oh, the loan, you've done it more than 5 mil. Let's go to 6 now. Yeah, I'm looking at the balance. Yeah, we need to take the loan up to 6 mil and then take away. Yeah, no, we're still a way to go. So at least we've only 4 mil to do tomorrow. Next session. Yeah, wow, this is going to hurt. But that's the whole idea. It is can I cope with this? Can I cope with this? 6 million. So 5461, and we just added, we had 500,000. So we were 1 million in debt. So if we take away, so we must have been 461 then, surely. We've just added 5 million. Oh, we had more, we had 500 grand. Okay, so let's take 4.9 million off this. So we're going to lose with the F12 4.9 million. Yeah, I did this wrong before, because obviously if you've got negative equity, you can't do anything. 4,900,000. Yes, that is right. It should leave us with 561,000, which I think is about right. So yeah, that's the debt, and it is going to hurt. Even that is, and again, we shall see if 6 million's enough, or whether I do think it's worth going the whole hog. So it is April. We've got 561,000. I think we have got to be careful. You've got to accrue that into like what you're going to do. So what are we actually going to do, and where can we buy? We've got grass equipment. We've ordered the baler. We've got to lease it for now. We've got lots of different things. We've got quite a few tractors, but not like a massive amount. So we got the beginnings. So I'd like to be close to. Where's that little tiddler? Oh, it's bigger than you think. It's bigger than you think. It is. Is it big enough to? Oh, it's got. Does it own the buildings and that? I think it does. But can you sell the buildings? Can we hide the buildings? Okay, we found a winner, I think. But I'd like to. Yeah, how much is 49? I know it's going to be expensive. I think that's a bad idea. I do. Not 49. Yeah, that crippers. We've got to have something that at least. It's another one that's tiny. About 51. Got a little tiny bit that you could sort of develop a little bit of a tiny bit of a shed. I wouldn't say farmyard. Bit up there, you could probably put a shed or a production. Let's just go and visit. And it is grass. No, I think I'd worked that one out already, because it. Oh, I think this is the back of a farm or a back of a building. It is. The sugar mill. Okay, so the back of the sugar mill, we can see. Let's just try and see. Yeah, so we own right the way up to that corner. That's how you do it. You can see there's a little tiny bit of green on the edge there. A tiny. Actually. Oh, now that's not too bad. So we've got actually a forested area there, a bit of forest just up there. A couple of trees at top. Let's have a quick look around the edge. I've got to plan this more carefully than I normally would, because this really is good. So it's not as big as you think, but yeah, this little area here. I think it is all of these right along the edge of here, right down to. Well, the thing is, if we're going to do this, we haven't ordered a Rawley Christie, but if Wood is going to take a thing on this, I need to pull out all the stops. I need there to be no holes barred, because this is going to be this is like evil, as it used to be Erlang Village International Leisure, where we're really against a foe of mighty proportions. This time it is, yeah, so it was was it? Let's look around. So, no, this was it. Yeah, that was the biggest area. Yeah, so we own quite a massive swath there. All of those trees, not quite as far as I went, but not far off. Yeah, we went right to the end there, so that's half of theirs. Trees there. Nothing on the left-hand side. It's quite a small headland down that side, and then the trees along there are mostly ours, and it is a farm. It is true at the bottom. So it's 100, which is actually quite reasonable. Oh, I actually like the look of that. We could actually buy that and rip the field up and actually redo it. Oh, it's got cows as well. Well, it was sooner than I thought, the cows. The only nasty thing is we're doing things like this. The one thing I hate about the game, I don't mean that sounds a bit strong. What I mean is the fact that I can't see how many animals this will have, you know, like the maximum amount. That would be nice to see. Oh, it's a proper, it is, it's the proper robot one. I'd like to put mine down, but it all depends whether or not we would be penalised for removing this and putting mine in, like the BI Industries one in. So I am actually quite tempted to actually buy 100. Because we get a field equally as big as 51, or almost as big, as well as a farmyard with no sheds and a bit of trees. Let's have a better look around this, if this is where we're staking our life on. So we have got a couple of sheds, actually. A wood store. We can put more sheds down. Would I hide that one? Okay. I don't know. This type of clutter, and there's an awful lot of it, though. Yeah, I might actually, if we buy, we'll see. Some of these you can actually remove it, and you can either pay for it to be removed, or like someone comes and removes it and gives you a bit of cash. Got that, which we definitely would move, which would make a bit of room. That's the way in. And oh no, this is not, this is that shed, the special shed. So mainly, yeah, and the manure section. So I'm, now, is that, yeah, when you say the field is as big as the grass, though, isn't that the actual field for the cows? It is a little. It is, definitely. I have a point. I do. Yeah, true. It is true. It's still a very reasonable proposition. But do we aim for that long term? Yeah, I think we do. I think that's... I think we'll go for this. It's 65,587. Excellent. We are also going to order a Rolly Christie. I always call it by his name. Apologies, everybody. Yeah, the Devour Trees. Yeah, we'll order one of those, which is in a few different sections. And we do indeed want to buy in the search. That's the rules. Yeah, we can't just sue ourselves just because we now want it or anything like that. So we've ordered that. It could take an hour or it could take forever. Now, the one bad thing is this is one of those maps where actually the grass only just started to grow like today, which that's rather unfortunate. No, 2 of 4. It's still first growth stage. It's only just grown this morning. That has. Yeah, I know first growth stage when I look at it, unless the grass was a different kind of grass. That's first growth stage, which is 2 of 4 and needs lime as well. But I can't lime it because the grass has grown. So we've got 51, but it really is of absolutely no use whatsoever. So I'm not cheating in so much as I can't cut stage 1 grass. And I don't want us to, if we're going to go into grass, we need to do on growth stage 3, which is what I would always do. So there's no like, oh, I'm like trying to like do a bit more buying and selling, because that's all we've got at the minute. And I am now going to put a single generator down, which is something I always do. I need to put this where it would make a bit of sense, which would be in an open area. So I would say here-ish is the only place that it really makes a bit of sense. I'm going to put the best that I can, the one that I really usually have, which is this one. So there's no... Oh, wow, it really has to be smack on. Right in the very corner. The very corner bit is the bit where obviously you shouldn't go there, although the workers do. Yeah, I'd sooner go slightly off corner than I would to be actually on the very corner, and it still might get walloped. But it is what it is. Yeah, there's not much we can do about that. And let's just soften that as well to... Right, so the scene is set. This is where we're going to make a choice. I still haven't done... Yeah, the one thing I forgot to do this morning, I put my mod in for mod testing, and Giants were really smack bang on the ball with that, and they've already denied that it's not going to happen, basically, which I'm not surprised at. They're not saying it's not a like total fail or anything like that. They're saying they're very busy, which I'd heard that they weren't from modders, but like perhaps they are. That bottom line is they, so it really gives me probably one more session before I need to go. It shouldn't take me very long to actually go. Oh, is it giving me the copper back? No, it's still silver. No, it's still the silver, not the copper. Yeah, it should be copper. It was literally blended. I don't understand why it's like mucking around with like a lack of, well, it's just silver and it should be copper, but it is what it is. Right, so we have got to, the only thing we've got to do, and it'd be interesting to see how much we actually do lose overnight. So let's just scoot through, because we can't do anything until April, May, June morning, when it will be third growth stage, and then we will cut. So let's go through till about 12-1-ish. Wow, we actually got that right for once. We have done well. 196. It's nearly always the 511 horsepower one that actually comes through. Right, we have done well, because I remember a time we wouldn't have even afforded one, let alone two. So we've got to make whatever way of doing it at least 30. Well, I'm not sure. That's why I want to see this, because I might be totally out of the maths. I might be. I'm guessing that this is right, but am I right? Why am I showing the? Oh, I did it for the mod test, didn't I? That's why I've got the zone markers showing. Yeah, I wanted to take pictures with the zone markers on, so that is why they are showing. Well, I've not started anyone's engine. Yeah, so it was a. They did the same to me. Obviously, I nearly sold that then. I know JM Gaming, and I've obviously spoken to him quite a lot about the modding, and obviously he is a modder, and as in like he's been published and he knows what he's on about, and he sort of obviously gave me tips a little bit. But I mean, obviously I've garnered quite a bit myself from like the bit of modding that I have done, and the rudeness of giants and all the rest of it. So, you know, there's certain expectations. This was no rudeness. There was no rudeness. It was just... But it wasn't helpful either, which is what JM Gaming got when he showed me his mod testing results, which was basically saying, get the other errors fixed on your map. Now, they knew exactly where the errors were. So... The Giants call modders partners, and obviously there's the partner program for those who create content, not particularly modders. I always get the impression from most modders that, I mean, obviously, the modders have got to be careful. They've got to be careful what they say. Otherwise, Giants aren't going to publish their mods. It's as simple as that. If you wage war against the masters of the thing, I know I'm outspoken, it's true, but I'm not. And sometimes I'm a little too outspoken, if I'm honest. It is true. The AI was like warning me earlier about like certain words that I was banding around. So, well, you need proof of like that kind of thing. You can't just bandy words like that around unless you want to be on the end of a lawsuit. And I thought, yeah, it's true, really. Sometimes I'm a little bit too glib on, you know, like what I'm... we do need to dig deep. It is true. Yeah, so the 27th... Oh, no, we're sort of going against our own normal rules, even though they're only guides. No. So I've broken the rules unwittingly, I guess. We should only have 50... It's only a guide, it really isn't like a set in stone. There was nothing in the rules, I don't think, that I put up about this, but it's something I've... always stuck to normally. So let's go through till about 5-6 at night, maybe 7:30. Stick a bit of light on. Oh, now we're lucky. Now we've already got a manure one, but that one does lime too, but so do the manure ones. You can do liming in those, although you have got to be careful. Or you could always do the reset trick, because we all know you could always take the lime out of it, even if you swilled it out with water, really. So it's not like beyond the realms of the possibility. So a reset, you're only really doing what something I never did in FS25. I always like Thought, no, I'm not going to do that. But like, really? Well, it's nothing wrong with doing that. Right, smashing. Yeah, we definitely need to sell them straight away. Well, we're fortunate. I mean, these are then. This is a good day in the sales. You don't normally get that many big items in one sort of time. So, but once we start getting wallet, if you need to go through a couple of months and you had a lousy day in the sales, it's going to hit you into the, you know, like minus money off you. And that's what I'm saying. I want to see. Am I setting myself too stringent with like saying 10 million? Is 6 million enough, or do we really want to go deeper down the road? Because we've got to pay this back, and that 6 million is a lot. I think what we're going to have to do as well. Now that's the other point. It is that's the thing that I'm like sort of forgetting, is the fact we've got to pay this back. I think 6 million is a massive, because it's not just a matter of paying back the loan interest, it really is about paying back, yeah, the actual thing itself. Oh, it'll have gone around the back. I was going to say, why can I not see the other item? That's because it'll have gone around here. Keep forgetting. Yeah, it is. It's true. I think 6 million is enough. It's not just about we've got to find 6 million to actually pay this back, to just reach zero. So, and I think part of the Let's Play would be that we need to get rid of the debts. That's got to be a completion. That it's not, we can't just like down tools and like, so again, this is sort of why I'm saying no holds barred. Because somehow we've got to juggle the fact that we've got fields, equipment, and all the rest of it, and we need to be selling things, even with organic status, if that's what we're going to do, which we are, because it's a way of making a little bit more money. We've still got to really, really dig deep. So let's go to 12 o'clock in the... Oh, brilliant. Oh, excellent. So we've got something found. Oh, Fritz's, and that's better. Now that's more like it. Yeah, now that is sort of what I was hoping for. 50-odd%. I'm never trying to get like 70% ons off. It is a real bonus if you do get the minus 69%, but I'm not expecting that. I just love the tractor, and that's all I'm sort of after. 102 horsepower one. So let's buy this one as well. This one is for us. No, we don't want the front loader actually. Yeah, I want... It's 273. We're going to add engine power this away. It's cheaper, and it still means 54 horsepower on top. That says 320 odd. I'm very happy with those. We do want beacons. Let's do this properly. And fenders. No. I have to pay them 100 to take them off. Seriously? Yeah, we're on 3 point. I think it's very reasonable, that one. It's off for $3,000. So in total, it's 101,641. So we're sort of back where we were a few minutes ago, but we have got our last tractor for a while. Yeah, I think we're going to have to manage with the team that we've actually got now. It's, yeah, but you've still got the other one to sell. Yeah, I have. It's true. So actually, we're doing a bit better than I just said. Now then, the Elmer's one's going to be difficult because it's a beast. Yeah, it is. I don't know that you can go round. I was wondering yesterday. I was thinking, can you go around the whole way? I think no. I don't think I can. Yeah, this tree to the left is an absolute menace. We do have the dolly though. Let's be sensible for once and actually remove that with the dolly. We need actually Fritz's would be quite a good one. It would also move it out of the way. It's not me just like wanting to favour this tractor. It's the matter that we can also repair it and all the rest of it. We're going to have nasty repair bill. That's the one thing I'm going to really say about this little lot. It's going to be a bit nasty because we've not really done much repairing. Sort of been trying to maximise profit. So, I didn't see how much loan we got walloped for in my Yeah, I didn't actually. I think we can look at the finances and it should tell us, shouldn't it? Like on what? Finances. Is it because... now that is the point. Is that not recognising the huge debt we've got? As in it's not mucking around... It is possible that that might actually be the case. That the game... You still can only take away the max that the game recognises, which is 3,333. So at that point it becomes more a matter of just getting the collateral, you know, the actual millions down, which this, I suppose, 3,333 is not a snippet. And it's not really just about that, as I've sort of like cottoned on myself. It's not just, it's also getting rid of the cash, you know, the negative. Yeah, so that's like a ball and chain around the neck, and it's going to take some time to actually get rid of that ball and chain, as in like a real long time. Yeah, I'm not used to that. I've never like sort of done that before, so to that extent. Didn't you? The pennies dropped. Yeah, you need that dolly. I think that's what he was really after. He was shifting that because it was in the way, but that's not really the plan. Yeah, you need the dolly. I am glad we've got the tanker though. It's going to come in handy for whatever we do, really. Yeah, so this sort of is going to be the greatest challenge that I've ever done. I have done some real humdingers. I did 3.5 million in deficits in FS22, but I think FS22 was a bit of a different ball game. I think you could sort of get away with a bit more that I don't think you could do in FS25. Yeah, and also I chose Westridge Hills, but that was based upon knowledge, and that's why with Chambergo I thought, well, I've never been on the map, I can't have a strategy, I can't base it upon my knowledge of the map. FS22, there was an awful lot of grass contracts, and I literally hammered the millions due to the fact that I did silage a lot, silage things, and some of those fields were humongous great fields where you could earn an awful lot of cash. It didn't take me many sessions. Seriously. You cannot concentrate on two things. Now, it's actually the dolly's resisting turning, and then all of a sudden it just like wallops and turns round. Like it's, yeah, I mean, it's just not... Yeah, I'm going to wallop that backwards again, but I might actually get it. Yeah, so I, in my personal understanding of FS25, having played it from the very, very beginning, it is tough. There's, you know, I think, to get sort of this down. I don't know that we do need to go any more than we actually have gone now. We didn't earn much for that. But we also want to repair that. That was the other reason I wanted to grab that. Not because it's like not necessarily the biggest. We do. Yeah, it doesn't want to turn. It's sort, and then it won't turn back. It's a bit playing up a little. Yeah, so on the modding front, again, I thought, don't let it dishearten you. Just like meet it. I've learned a lot since the very first time. I think, if I'm honest with myself now, almost a year on, I don't think I was treating the modding with, because I didn't know. I thought Giants were going to be more friendly and helpful, and I had like that you know that was, but that's not the character of Giants, and really the game itself reveals that. No, I won't say that. No, it is highly recognised, but I'm not going to like bring in racial traits or anything like that. Right, so it still got 500 grand, even though we've just spent 100,000 on that. So we would have been up to 600 grand. So let's go through till. Yeah, no, we've still got a chat, and yeah, I'll try and remember to carry on with the things. I'm a terror for like. I am for like forgetting where I was with the conversation and then carrying on with something else. Ooh, yeah, I'll grab that. Now that we can, but that we can't. The 27,000 one, we're going to be stringent and stick to the rules. Oh, it's a good one as well. Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah, we're starting with grass. We did say this, so let's stick to our guns. It's what we've got mainly. So let's go through till about 9-ish. It's about 4 hours. Ooh. Wow, that's a biggie. It is. Very good value, both of them, and that as well. This is the one where you can't take the beacon lights off. Yeah, the beacon lights, you can go all the way through, and every single one is a grand. So, wow, that's it is a beautiful tractor. We will stick to ours. It's a little tiny bit smaller than that, but oh, I'm not sure we're going to get this in the store. It's big. Wow. Credits to the map maker, because I've got to be honest, this side is a bit small, but no. Yeah, so we sort of got a reprieve, but only because what we're doing isn't ready. Which would be no different to actually going for a normal crop either, really. It's not any difference at all on us going through until our crop is ready. You'd be doing exactly the same thing. You would either like cycle through the months or do what we're doing if you were going to do the buying and selling. So it's not like you put in a fast one. It's a shame. That's a very good price for this. Yeah, this is another mod that Giants threw out. Yeah, that's what I was saying, isn't it, really? I don't think I treated it with the respect it was due, whereas I am now, and I'm trying to learn to mod and to do modding as best I possibly can, and to give it and Giants the respect that they actually due. It is both of them. And also I sort of know a little bit more about what to expect. Now then, headers. Yeah, 2 of them, I believe. Yeah, so I'm not. I know it's going to be tough. That's what I'm saying. I sort of know it's not just going to like, oh, it's just going to happen, and it's going to, you know, a lot of hard work has already gone into the mod that I've actually done. An awful lot of work. But the other thing I realised as well, I was talking to the AI at dinner. It's got a triangle count, it's called, and the warning threshold is 250,000. Now mine's 750,000, so 3 times the limit that Giants would say was, you know, like the threshold for like it being bad. So wow. I need to like see, can I go a little bit long? It's big. Yeah, so although they didn't sort of say specifically that, I am sort of thinking, well, I think, oh, so you can still go on one wheel. It is true, you could in real life as well. Yeah, you still got traction, a little. Yeah, so I feel that as a modder, that like my gut's telling me that, look, I'm sure if 250,000... is the limit and you're 3 times over, Giants might not tell you that, but really you're, you know, that if that's a warning by Giants. Now I've seen a couple of their models that go over it. In fact, actually the harvester that we've just sold, that was one of those things that had got warnings themselves. So they do approach the limit, but that's for a very, very complex mod. Although the cowshed is, but I'm talking about 3 times over the limit. Giants would just have reached the limit or slightly over. So really, what I'm trying to say, well, that's actually not bad, is that I think I need to like reduce that. And I was talking to the owl, how do I actually do that? The answer was a bit gut-wrenching, because it really means me doing a lot of work to reduce that, a lot. So I've got to retake it all back into Blender, and then they call it decimate. You have to decimate some of the triangles, but make sure it doesn't damage the look of it. So I've got to do that, and that's an awful lot more work. But I'm like thinking, well, do you want to be a modder? Do you want to be a modder, or do you want to play at it in the game? Or do you want to really get your mod published? And I thought, well, I really do want to get the mod published. I'm not making it up. So it's true. I am going to this is my first mod, and I'm going to treat it with the respect that it's due. But I love doing the content. This is like whether I'm rubbish at it or whatever, and or I'm Marmite, as I keep calling myself. Yeah. Ooh. This must be one of the new mods. What is it? Windrower. Wow. So that must be about 150 grand then. How big is it? 12 meter. It's a biggie, but not unduly. Although the big ones are quite expensive. It's quite a low horsepower though. Right, so let's go through till about 6, 7 o'clock at night. We'll do a few bits and bobs rather than do it all in one go. Nope, neither of them. Right, so let's go through till... Now this time I would like to pay attention. Let's go through till about 10, I think. Ooh. Ooh, brilliant. Now that... Yeah, it's a cracker anyway. It really is a good, very good price. So yes, we will indeed buy that. So that, I think, was all we were waiting for the grass business, obviously, apart from the grass to grow. That we're waiting for too. Excellent. So then, let's go through now till about 12. I'm really trying to pay attention to how much we get wallet. I think it was 3333 still. I think that seems to be the limit. Oh, no, it's not. 20,000. I think I was right then. I think if we took that to 10, that would be an extra third on top. So that's going to be 33,000, as I originally said. So I think that's, yeah, but it's paying that back. I know it's not just about that. I mean, 20,000 is still a considerable amount, as well as paying it back. I think that's the bit that I'm sort of failing to recognise. So let's go through till 4 o'clock. Did we? Yeah, it was the baler. Let's go through till 4. Yeah, it is true. I think I'm quite happy that we've got to pay back 20 grand a night. It's a lot. And also 6 million to pay back to. It's not... Yeah, no, that is a good thing for ourselves. We're allowed to buy anything of any value for ourselves. That's close enough, I think. And also the other good and bad thing, depends on how you look at it, is that's 373,000, which means I could do something for 37,000. But we're buying that for ourselves, and I'm not cheating. That is for ourselves. We'll leave it for now, but we will change it when we actually use it. Which then means that we've got 346, which that is close enough that is, you could do that. Obviously the bar keeps lowering with the items that you, but there's a certain element of luck, but there's also me being reasonable. That is close enough to that for me to sell that too. Yeah, we're not sure we're going to get away with that. We might need to drag something at the same time, which then means we're down to almost 28,000. Ooh, okay, but what's going to happen now, and this is, again, only fairness, we're not trying to do a cheat. As we grab the stuff, no, we really do still need that. As we sell it, to make space. I'm not going to be able to buy that again, because at that point we're going to have earned money and our bar goes back up again. So you're not really cheating per se in what you're trying to do. Right, so yeah, this is where this really is a bit. Yeah, I think this first bit is a bit of a mistake. I think it should be bigger, because yeah, that's not terribly long. Ooh, and yeah, and you're sort of getting walloped by the tree as well. Although, I mean, I suppose you could sort of say, well, yeah, but you've got like a front loader on. But then it's true, I have. Yeah, but yeah, this is my point. This is the length of it, and they've got a fence in the way as well. And it's only through the game's generosity that I'm allowed to like grab that. Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a tricky one. Yeah, we're running out of space for our stuff as well, aren't we? Even here. Yes, there's the one thing I was saying about this island. I mean, some of it's because it doesn't turn very well. I think I made mention of that on the yesterday's session. Yeah, but also the Xylon, the GTA has a better turning circle, because the Xylon is quite a good design, but it's got like two little platform sections, one at the back and one at the front. But it also means your wheels would clip if they were allowed to turn any more than that, which means it does make it quite tricky, in so much as it can't really turn much more than it is actually turning. Yeah, it doesn't turn as far as a lot of tractor wheels would, due to the fact it would clip on the little mini platform, which makes it not the best turner, and it's not possible for it to be much better. Right, so we did want to grab something behind us as we grab. Not that though, we'll leave that to a bigger tractor. Yeah, it was not, which was the big thing? I think it's around the other side. Yeah, there's one thing I want to grab something. Oh, that's it, the Joskin. Yes, I'm not sure how this would manage without a weight on the back. Well, that's now got a weight on the back. Yeah, so I am sort of determined as a mod that I'm going to carry on. And we shall see. I mean, the one thing that is a little bit annoying, obviously I did create a video. Now, the AI did say you ought to read the terms and conditions of the mod hub to see if you're allowed, if you're breaking the terms and conditions, if you air what goes on, or is it like a contract that it's sort of like a non-disclosure agreement? And I thought, it's true, I ought to read that, because if it's classed as you're not allowed to write what you see behind the mod hub, as in like it's sort of like a contract, then I would have to not. No, then that is, wow, I'm surprised at that being heavier than that. Let's go a little lower, see if that helps. Yeah, so I need to check as to whether I'm allowed to air the video. Ooh, this is going to be tricky to actually do. But I think you might be able to drag it a little on those front legs. Ooh, sure. No, it's not having any of it. Nah, that's not going to work. I think we need to clear a bit of room as well and put the things out of the way. It's not helping the fact that I've got that all here. Yeah, so I need to check that, because obviously I was making a video. Two things to protect myself, to be honest, because I didn't like the way that the first round went down, but obviously I couldn't really record it, or the fact of like how hard I had worked and how deep I'd gone. Yeah, to sort of protect myself. Whereas this time I thought, well, if I do this and I like record everything, I'm also being transparent, but also showing what is said. Now I've got to be honest, as I said, Giants have actually been quite professional in what they've said. Yeah, they've not been rude like they were the first time. That really was quite unprofessional and rude. Whereas this is non-helpful, but that's not. Yeah, I mean that's just again what JM Gaming was sort of showing me in his, that Giants could have been a bit more. It's almost like they're trying to put pressure on you not to mod. It is, you know, and again, there are certain modders that it is a bit. We were both talking about this. I think it's a bit of an old boys club. Again, this is only like me flapping my lips. It's not really about. It's just that it seems easy for certain modders because of their reputation and history that certain modders obviously seem to get. I'm quite sure they don't. But then again, also all the modders may well toe the line more than I do. In other words, they might like not try to get away with, because they're better modders as well, is the other thing, and that really is me being honest. I'm never tried to like pull any punches that I'm learning ever, and that's due to the fact that you're learning. You obviously you're nowhere near as I'm not an H2 Studios. I'm not an Omatana. I mean, I remember when Omatana did come into the game, some of the first mods were fairly basic. I mean, placeables is when a lot of modders come in to begin with. It's where I myself, I recognise that placeables were easier to do, and also really quite useful to most players, and not a bad place to cut your teeth. Vehicles are always what I wanted to do, but I always knew that they were difficult, and it didn't take me long. Yeah, I did a lot of. I mean, the first thing I did was the fertilizer spreader, where I actually did modding. You know, I actually did. It was more than just an XML tweak, which is where most modders start, where you just like make a tractor 2 miles an hour faster, or you know, like it make the capacity of a trailer 7,000 litres more, just because you can. You know, it's obviously one of those. Oh wow, it's not even liking this very much. I'm surprised at that. I thought that would be all right. Let's try a little bit deeper in. Strange, but I can't actually make the. Let's try that. Yeah, so I mean, you're learning, and I've got to be honest. I know myself that a year on, I'm an awful lot better than I was a year ago, which I think that's fairly odd, but not really, because not just because you want to mod doesn't make you a modder. You know, like it didn't take me long to realize that my job gives me a bit of an advantage because I'm already used to programming. I'm already used to scripts. I'm already used to syntax. All of those things that modding has a lot to do with. And also, I've always had a bit of a creative flair, always been quite artistic in digital ways. I'm not going to say I can't draw for peanuts. I can't even draw a stick man. It's true, I can't. I'm terrible at that. But yeah, digitally, I've always been sort of not bad at, you know, like painting and all that type of thing digitally. So a lot of these. I build websites and things like that, so that takes quite a lot of artistic and an eye and all that type of stuff. So modding relies on all of these separate skills that some people have got naturally and others haven't, and I haven't, and I've obviously developed some of these. I think I'm gonna have to push that back. It's too. Yeah, so there are certain advantages or disadvantages that we all have in our background as to whether or not you would make a good modder or a bad modder, or you know, and that type of thing. And obviously it's the whole package, you know. And I'm not bragging or anything like that. I'm not, you know, I've ripped and broken way more mods, and I think that also is part of modding. You know, like you make mistakes. I know that myself from all skills I've ever learned. I'm not afraid to make mistakes, because I always have found that making mistakes is one of the best ways. So I've made some real bad mistakes as a modder, even listening to Lambo and like what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and all this type of thing. I've still gone and made terrible mistakes that have been very costly have taken me hours and hours to fix. But I also recognise the fact that even those hours and hours of facing tasks, it teaches you patience, it teaches you perseverance. They're all skills you need as a modder, and also that are useful for life as well. So it's not really a loss. Right, so then, yeah, so we've got that still to sell, and that which we've kept. So we're almost where we were before, but we need to sell that. But I don't think we can. Yeah, so back up to 498. So we can't like go low again. Right. So then we want to go through till 8 o'clock or 9ish. Right. Ooh, okay. Now that's going to be useful. Which then means we can literally probably do whatever we like. Do we go for another Pilatus? Do we need a roller just yet? I think 2 Pilatus is not a bad place to be, actually. It's not. Grab that too. So 20 grand a day that we need to like do. I must do the mower for tomorrow. I can't remember if I tested whether it actually works or not. Right, okay. Now, can we try before we do anything more? No, I think it's today that the grass is ready. Did I say June or July? I will have a look. I'm not. Yeah, I don't trust my my memory as I've got older that I'm right. I'd just like to check just to make sure that I'm. Yeah, I'm right. This is going to still be fairly. Yeah, we might have to move. This is what I was saying. Some of this is a clear run. I've sort of left myself a bit of a hard task really to achieve with leaving tractors in the way that I've got to dodge. Yeah, so I'm determined that I'm not just modding for nothing. I am wanting to sort of share the mods with you, the viewers and subscribers. No, I let go of that. Has it not let go of it? Yeah, it was always my plan. I don't mean it nasty, but I remember what it was like in FS22, and there were very few placeables that were a good business for, and I've made a lot of placeables now, and I'd like to start to put those in the mod hub, but I realise there's quite a bit of things that I do for myself that aren't good enough for the mod hub, as in like there's localization, which I know won't mean anything to you, but I've got to do all of that. But I can do it. I've done it. I started to learn it a few months back, but I was like, oh, I don't like this. But well, no, you don't. But it's extra work. But it's still, it needs doing if we're going to like get published on the mod hub. So again, I'm going to be adding all of these things to my mods going forwards, and it means I've got to work hard. And I'm prepared to work hard. Again, it does mean that I probably won't. But I mean, I've got to be honest, I've got a lot of content. I don't necessarily need to do as much as I am doing. But I enjoy doing the content. So sometimes it's more about, yeah, I really enjoy doing the content. And I don't want to. It's a hobby. And like the modding is a hobby. But it's not like I've made content now for years, absolute years. So, no, let's borrow this a sec. Let's just grab the other Pilatus out. Let's make a bit of room and the baler. I'm not sure whether we keep the roller or not. We could stick that over there, really. Just want to not take these slots up. Yeah, I suppose I could use this very baler as an example, like G866 mods and BB mods. I don't know that BB mods is a modder that I'm familiar with from like FS25, but some of the things that Giants were saying I couldn't do, like in some of the mods that I did, a lot of modders actually do that, and BB mods, as far as I'm aware, was a new modder. So sort of like they got away with things that I didn't, and like JM Game was talking about, some modders have followings. Well, I don't know the background of BB mods. He might have a massive following, you know, as to why Giants considered that they would allow BB mods to do things that other modders like myself who had just started, that you can't get away with, that Giants aren't going to let you get away with that, you know, like the same things that they've allowed them. Yeah, I mean, the very first mod I did was the Razek converts, and they sort of like said I hadn't done a water layer, and then I found out what the water layer was, and I did it and I fixed it, and it had got a water layer. But again, I was, the next round of testing I did with all the mods I did, I got them all thrown out, and a rude comment sort of thing from Giants. So I was like, yeah, it was a bit. Do we keep this? It's not a bad... It's not a bad thing to have a 12 metre... Yeah, because I prefer the JMZ one. It's an awful lot cheaper, but this was still quite reasonable, and we're still 500 grand. We bought our field. We've got most of our equipment. If we're thinking of the future, like when we're harvesting and all that type of stuff, then we're going to need rollers and weeders and things like that, so... It's more for the future. So 20 grand is the daily cost to our loan, on top of all of the costs. But also we've got to, I'd like to start to work at that. I'd like to insist that when we're not buying equipment or animals or fields, that we like knock at 50 grand at a time, or if possible, or even sort of aim for 50 grand a month if possible. I know it won't always be, sometimes something else going to come in and you need to buy a production, or you need to buy a field, or that you can, like, but I'd like to sort of stick into the fact that I'd really like to sort of get the money go knocking down as soon as possible. So let's go and have a look at the field. Where do we get to the field? I would say it's down there, but there might be a route down there, or we might have to go all the way over there. There's also a road that goes all the way up and down there to that particular place. So we shall see. Yeah, we could actually. Let's just go and see if the grass is ready, third growth stage, or whether it is tomorrow as I first thought. No, it's ready. So ready to harvest. Brilliant. So we need to go through till it stops raining, which I would imagine it's not too far away. Let's give it another half hour for the grass to dry, because long grass takes a while to dry. Probably longer than that, but yeah, we're just showing willing, aren't we? Oh, okay, let's grab that. It's come through. We'll do that before we make a start. At least we've got all of our grass equipment. I'm not going to cut it now. I'm going to leave it at this, sort of ready for us to do this next session. Let's just get that last thing done. Also, yeah, I'd like to have a wander around the equipment just to remind myself of like what we've actually got. And we've got the two pilates, so we've got two 9-meter seeder stroke planters, which can be just told to have seeds. Yeah, so we don't necessarily need to add the fertilizer section. Both of those actually work nicely. So I'd like to... Oh, we've got the 6 meter as well, haven't we? Oh, yeah, I just saw that. Of course, that was the first thing we bought. Right, so 544,475. We have a tanker. We have a manure spreader. We have the bale collector. We're going to lose, I'd say we're probably going to spend the 44 grand on repairs, or and wages, I should say. Some of these we have repaired recently. Almost all of the tractors I think we've repaired. Not sure about the BI Industries AB. Got the little tiny Rex, haven't we? Which I want to upgrade in time because it can be quite a... We've got the 150 horsepower tractor as well. So 3 little is... Well, I mean, that's not... It is little, but it's quite powerful, but it's still little. Its weight is obviously... And we have 3 biggies and a medium-y. Yeah, like it's still a smallish tractor. But... yeah, it's more of a specialist, I think, the Xylon. But it's still pretty much a 180 horsepower. So with all of the chipping and that, it's not a bad tractor at all. So this is obviously possibly to convert it to a manure spreader, but it's obviously a really cracking trailer. We've got this, which is 1,000,000 litres, so it's like super duper. And yeah, so tractors, mainly tractors. We've got the baler. Our mower is a windrower. I would actually like to see whether that actually works. So we're going to do one last thing. We're going to take the mower, and I'm going to see if it actually works. Yeah, I can't remember. It should do, but I obviously have. This was my front mower. That probably could. Yeah, if you can fold it up to take it. I'm not sure if they've got... No, they're just like ghosts in the machine, the green bits. He says. No, they are. Yeah, and also you can see that this model is... Yeah, I've dragged in the bits, and I'm going to change this. So you can't obviously see that they're suspended on nothing. Right, so then let's just send the drones up. How do we best get to field 51? Ooh, no, that's still... Yeah, so that it's up there is to our field 51. But it's not a very nice way. That's not too terrible. So we take a left and then a... it's not that simple. No, it's not. So we would take a left, go out, go up that road. Ooh, and then we're going all the way around. So that's not a good way. It might be that these are just the only options we've got. So what about taking a right? We've got the field edge there, which we can run up, which doesn't really stop us. The longer route is down there, but there's an underpass, which means you've got to go around here. Oh, wow, it's even bigger than that. I think the only option we've got is down the field edge, really, which is a bit sneaky, but not too bad. Just seeing if those models are actually got collisions, and they haven't. Apologies for this. I just want to make sure that this actually is mowing, otherwise I need to get a little bit more work done than I'm thinking that I need to do. This is a front mower as well. Yeah, it is. It's an all-in-one, which is, I know, a bit special. But it's also a swather, or should be. But it is a light mower due to the fact that it is a bar mower, the old bar mowers. But it's also reinforced so that it's not too floppy, because it would be, without the reinforcement of the exoskeleton that's around it, it would be too big to actually do this. Oh wow, you didn't take into consideration how the field is a little bit it's a bit downhill. Now then, let's just see, because I don't even know if it says, oh, it does. No, it's actually got the swath drop in. Let's see if it actually works. I think you'll find it has to go backwards. Yeah, but it's a front mower. It may be that the swathing is only allowed on a back mower. It might be that that's built in. Yeah, Giants are quite strict on like some of the things that actually can happen. So it is quite possible, but it is actually working. That's the main thing. Is it swatting? No, it is cutting properly. Not cutting on the right hand side though. No, it's not. Right, okay, so I need to fix that. It's working better than I thought. For saying I've not spent that much on it, I just dragged the two models together, and when I'd say it like as if I did do quite a bit, but yeah, so it's doing the middle and it's doing the right hand section but not the left, if you look at it the right way. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. It does cut, but I need to fix it a little bit, get rid of those green bits of the old model and make sure that the swathing section's working. So I will get that done for next session. So all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.